Hi guys. Hi. Okay, I don't normally do a morning session, but oh my god, coming around learning in circles, I fucking know what I know, which I fucking know, which I know. Just crazy, right? One sec. Let me. Oh. So yeah, wow. Funny how we learn in circles the most important things, right? For example, testosterone syndrome. Okay, most of the shit I'm learning is from my own fucking experiences. I woke up this morning in a fucking phenomenal mood and state. And I worked out from all the reading and shit I've been doing. Reading and experimentation are the two things I do best, and body shit, and semen retention, all that crap. So I worked it out now. I know it. I made a post about this, but I do so many posts that I'm not surprised most people don't see them. Larry, hi mate. Okay, here's connecting the dots in the most obvious fucking way. Okay, testosterone. Now, all hormones are released in stages, right? They're not all released in one. They're released in stages. That's to prevent hormone resistance. You know, you guys have heard of insulin resistance. You've heard of insulin resistance, right? And insulin resistance not being a good thing. Now, all hormones are released not 24/7. They're released about once or twice daily in surges. Now, hormones are released in surges, and let me go through the history of it. Hormones are released in surges because so that the body doesn't get too used to it. Because then, if like a hormone like insulin, testosterone, serotonin, dopamine, if they're released constantly, what happens is you develop resistance and you lose sensitivity to that hormone. You don't want to lose sensitivity. You don't want to lose resistance. So it's important to have. That's how nature's designed it. So testosterone is one of those. Just like think of insulin quickly. If people insulin is only released when you eat food. Now, people get diabetes type 2 because they are constantly eating food. Not necessarily what they eat, they're constantly eating. So they're constantly spiking their insulin levels. And in other words, they're fucking up with their insulin resistance. Because we weren't designed to have insulin spikes all throughout the day, to eat 12 hours a day, to eat 4 meals a day. We weren't designed for that, right? Let me try and think. This is one of the I'm trying to work out too whilst I'm talking. I know what I'm talking about, and I know I'm right with what I'm saying. So kind of follow with me if you can. So hormones are designed by nature to be dosed out in spikes and once or twice a day, just like insulin. You eat 1 or 2 meals a day, and then and the rest of the time it's supposed to not be released. Well, same with testosterone. Human growth hormone too is another one. It's only released. All of them. Human growth hormone is released at 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning during deep sleep. And then the rest of the time, you're not supposed to activate this. Now, testosterone, I checked on the internet and Google. Google's useful. And it gets released. And this makes sense of what I've experienced, so I want to talk about it. Testosterone for men, now women have it too, but men have far more. Depending on what you read, 10 to time, like a lot more. So it protects the heart, and I'll tell you why in a second. But testosterone is released and spiked, like I said, not during the day, even though man's testosterone levels will have testosterone in the system for the entirety of a day at very high levels, hopefully, if you're into health. If you're not into health, I'll tell you why. You're going to get men get heart attacks, and low testosterone is linked in. But the spike happens at 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning. That's when there's a release of testosterone in the system, and that happens every day. Every day at 8 to 10 a.m. for guys, there's a massive testosterone dump. Within that 2-hour period is when your testosterone spikes for the day, right? Spikes for the day, and then depending on how healthy you are, you will be able to read your testosterone levels, which will be dependent on not just the spike for the day, but also how much you've been building that. Are you losing it from semen retention? Are you losing it because you're taking on too many plastics, not fasting, not eating the right foods, you know, that kind of shit. So, look, here's one easy way to prove that basic shit that actually men do produce most testosterone between 8 and 10 a.m. in the morning. Well, what is morning wood? Why does guys, including myself, I'm 32 years old now, and this has happened for the longest time, why do we get morning wood? I.e., why is the penis erect when you wake up in the mornings? Or even if you're not awake in the mornings, sometimes you'll wake up at 8 o'clock, you know, like a half asleep wake, and you think, oh shit, my penis is erect. Yeah, why is that? I wonder if the morning wood syndrome is linked in with high testosterone and what I just said, the testosterone levels being spiked, being released daily between 8 and 10 a.m. Do you think there's a correlation there? I'll tell you what, I think there's a correlation between testosterone dump at 8 to 10 a.m. and morning wood and an erection. We all know that high testosterone levels lead to better erections, all that shit. Well, when the body dumps a load of testosterone, it's a health hormone, it's a happiness hormone, it's a success hormone, it's also a fucking sexual hormone. So it makes a man more sexual. Yeah, obviously. So that's why you get the morning erection, because you're in a sleepy state, which is alpha, theta, delta, whichever one of the sleepy states, brainwaves are high, and then you've got the dump of testosterone at the same time. By the way, this is going to be a long one, I apologise, I hope you're getting some information out of this. That's another reason why I think we weren't designed to be sleeping between 8 and 10 a.m. We were supposed to be up with nature before 8 and 10 a.m. because think about the nature time when the testosterone spike is 8 to 10 a.m. That's nature telling a man, the nature's going, okay, time for the man to have high testosterone when he's awake, not asleep, when he's fucking awake. We were designed to wake up at sunrise, go to bed early, about 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, wake in the in the winter time, in the summertime a little bit later, and then in the morning, we were designed to wake up with sunrise, then stay awake. That's why nature designed it. There's actually two reasons why I think, I'll go on again, why nature designed it for testosterone to be dumped at 8 to 10. It's because it's your get up and go hormone. Get up and fucking go hormone. Get up, succeed, be happy, healthy, and fucking be sexual too, possibly. In the morning, not at night time. Irony, isn't it? We're sexual. We do sex at night time. Perhaps sex is actually best to be done when the spike happens, for example, at 8 to 10 a.m. That's just me thinking outside the box a bit crazy. Anyway, so yeah, that's you get the spike at 8 to 10 a.m. That's when morning wood, erections, and come. But that's not really what I want to talk about. Now let's get to what I want to talk about. So, heart attacks. Testosterone is way more than just a sexual hormone. We know it's happiness and health hormone, and we know that it's massive for heart health. Absolutely huge for heart health. For two things outside of, for loads of things, mate. Testosterone is huge for things outside of muscle mass, and it's really good for losing visceral fat, and improving lean body mass, improving bone density and mineral density of the bones. So it's great for the bones and building muscle, preventing obesity, and for bones and muscles. It's great. But outside that, it's also good for two things I want to talk about. One of them I put in the title, which is heart, definitely huge, for maximizing heart health, and also the brain. So the heart health. Now, here's the theory. Now, in the morning, like I said, testosterone gets dumped between 8 to 10 a.m. Daily, in that 2-hour period, every day, and then the rest of the day it's just quiet. Doesn't do that. So the reason why nature does it is to wake you up, to get up and do shit, because you're a man, da-da-da. But also, at that time, starting about 6 a.m., you get a lot of cortisol, adrenaline building up in your system. Now, the cortisol and adrenaline building up in your system, that is designed to wake you up, just like more than testosterone. The cortisol and the adrenaline is designed to wake you up, right? Now, this prevents a problem, and it's linked in with heart attacks, because we know that there's good stress and bad stress. Heart attacks are too much stress, too much cortisol in the system. Unhealthiness, but it's also, unhealthiness linked in, just too much cortisol, too much stress in the system. Now, when do men get most heart attacks? If you go on Google, and everyone should know this anyway, when do men get most heart attacks? Men get most heart attacks between 6 and 11 a.m. on a Monday morning. They get it in the morning time when the cortisol rises, because the cortisol's too high. It's okay, the cortisol's high, but nature has a strategy called testosterone to mitigate the cortisol levels, the cortisol stress, which I'll talk about in a bit. So that's why, that's one factor, that men get most heart attacks in a Monday morning because they're going back to work and they don't like their job, which is stressful enough as it is, right? Stress. There's also 6 to 11 a.m. So they've got two factors. Men get heart attacks because of a stressful job, cortisol goes up, and also nature's cortisol going up. But nature had a strategy to mitigate cortisol damage, to lower cortisol, which naturally rises with every human in the mornings between 6 and 11 a.m. As the cortisol goes up, nature's design, okay, hear this, nature's design to prevent heart attacks is very simple. Yeah, it's really fucking simple. It's called testosterone. It's the number one thing to prevent heart attacks. Number one. Now, why do I say that? Because it works on heart health in a huge way. We know that testosterone is absolutely essential for muscle gain, muscle keeping lean muscle, and stopping abdominal fat, right? Well, what do you think the heart is? The heart is a muscle. The heart is probably the most important muscle. I'm not sure if it's the biggest, but the heart is a muscle. It's the most important pumping blood muscle in the fucking body. So I wonder if testosterone has an impact, having low testosterone has an impact on the heart muscle. Heart attacks are to do with the heart muscle. Do you think there's a link there? I think there might be a fucking link between heart muscle and low testosterone fucking up and not working properly and a heart attack. Ooh. Nature's design, in my opinion, was to have high testosterone in the human avatar at all times, and in the morning you get a massive dump between 8 and 10 p.m, and that would stop the threat of cortisol getting out of control. Nature's design also in the morning, so people don't get heart attacks. Now why men get heart attacks is because too much cortisol and not enough testosterone. Beyond that though, okay, also another fact, did you know that testosterone, heart has the most testosterone receptors than any other organ in the body? That's a massive clue that kind of the heart and testosterone are huge. So low testosterone does equal major heart problems. On top of that, testosterone does a shit ton of other things, like increases hormone insulin sensitivity, lowers insulin resistance, which is going to lower rate of metabolic syndrome. So the type 2 diabetes and all that shit, which is going to increase the heart output anyway. So, and also another thing, testosterone increases nitric oxide, and what nitric oxide does, so high testosterone would increase nitric oxide. Nitric oxide dilates the blood vessels and relaxes you, and lowers blood pressure. What's blood pressure linked into? Heart attacks. Yeah. So men are walking around with low testosterone, not just in the mornings, all the time, but when they need it the most, that testosterone dump in the mornings between 8 and 10 a.m, because of unhealthy lifestyle factors, they're not producing enough of that dump at the morning between 8 and 10. Their cortisol is too high. They're not producing enough testosterone. And like I said, the testosterone increases nitric oxide levels. If you've got low testosterone, you won't produce enough nitric oxide, so your blood vessels won't dilate. If your blood vessels don't dilate, vasodilation, you're going to get vasoconstriction. And that's where heart little plaques congeal and stick together, and that's where heart attacks come from. That's another reason. There's so many reasons, but rest assured, that is the one that is fucking people up. Nature's designed for high cortisol levels to get us up and going, but to relax us is testosterone. Testosterone relaxes us, lowering the blood pressure, getting heart muscle working much more efficiently, and the heart muscle won't work efficiently if you've got low testosterone levels, and that's what most men that have heart attacks get. That's a fact. I know it for a fact. Nearly every man that gets a heart attack, the studies have probably been done. I've probably read the books and forgotten. I could just go on Google right now, and I won't be surprised if you type in heart attacks and testosterone scientific studies. There's going to be a few obvious ones on, low testosterone equals heart attack. Simple as that. Low testosterone equals heart attack. That's it. Oh, yeah, one more thing I want to say before I go, and linked in with brain health, is I can feel in the mornings, like today, a visceral fucking high of my brain working properly because of the testosterone dump that I had this morning between 7 and now it's 9 o'clock. The past 2 hours, I've just been having a major testosterone jump. I can feel it in my brain because my brain just doesn't want to shut off. I'm connecting the dots on so many things. That's why I jumped on this morning to this. Haven't assimilated what I've learned, so it's probably come out as a poor video, but the point is that my brain this morning is just been on fire, and I know it's linked in with this testosterone dump, and I can feel it. I can feel the testosterone kicking in my system, and my breath slows down because of the vasodilation for nitric oxide. But the main thing that's exciting to me is that my brain just goes into overdrive with all these ideas about a million things I need to research, which I'm behind on. Not that I care, I've got a lot of things to do, but my brain was just like, shit. Like, while I was in bed, I couldn't sleep. I was like, oh, fuck, man. And I could literally feel the brain connections, the neural connections, my brain working at optimum efficiency. Now, that's linked in with what we know about testosterone. We know two things, well, loads of things, but it's huge for heart health, which I just talked a little bit about, and it's huge for brain health. Testosterone prevents Alzheimer's, dementia. Testosterone creates neuron pathways within the brain. It's like BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It fucking enhances brain activity. It enhances intelligence big time. Testosterone is huge for heart health and huge for brain health. Huge! Not just for preventing brain disease. I don't really care too much about that because I'm not in that position. But what I am excited about is it's giving me access to my higher intelligence in terms of brain connection, so I can give out better information on videos, so I can write better books, so I can know more about health, and I actually care about understanding all the mechanisms behind what I'm learning. And that's all linked in with one thing. It's loads of things, don't get me wrong, I'm doing a lot of things for my brain health and body health, but I know that dump between 7 and 9 a.m. in the morning with testosterone is definitely doing something crazy to my system. Crazy for my brain, and I'm just connecting the dots, and I want to learn. And I have a spike, and then when I come out of it in the next few hours, I'll still have a high level of testosterone, just not as high as that dump in the initial dump in the morning. And then it's my prerogative to try and remember all the shit that I've got a few things I've got to write down and remember from things I'm writing for my book, things I've got to research. Oh man. In other words, this morning I went for a 2-hour fucking massive brain dump, and I was just like non-stop, like, shit, I just figured out what this mechanism works on testosterone. I just figured out what this mechanism works on melatonin. I just figured out what this mechanism works on negative ions. Literally, the last 1.5 hours in bed, I've been like, not in a bad way. I've just been like, I've been a genius. This is where I think genius comes from. Genius comes from a brain that's working efficiently and in low brainwave states, but also for men, high testosterone. I know it now. It's not just the books I read and that tell me that, oh, it's good for the brain. Now it's my own fucking experience on the brain, on that shit, that I know that testosterone is huge for heart health and preventing heart attacks, but beyond that, just for maximum efficiency of the fucking heart, the heart chakra, right? Kind of important, but it's also huge for the brain and being the best version of yourself, intelligence, wisdom, learning, and seeking to desire more. So, on that note, there we go. Kind of went all over the place. What a wishy-washy video. I'll try and stabilize and my mission is to become much more intelligent in terms of a couple of masteries. One of them is definitely testosterone, how to maximize testosterone, because I know testosterone is key for health. That's why I'm going to bang on about semen retention. I know semen retention definitely fucking spikes and maintains a high level of testosterone. Funny, because the leading testosterone experts, who I learn from, by the way, on YouTube and podcasts, Jay Williams is one of them. He's probably one of the leading ones on testosterone replacement therapy, which is a form of injecting it into the skin, which works, by the way. But he doesn't talk one diddly-ot squit about fucking semen retention and how to increase testosterone naturally. And that's where I come in. That's where people like myself come in. Age-during massaging on testicles, sunlight on testicles, sunrise, sunset on testicles, midday sunrise on testicles, fasting, not eating too much. All these things raise testosterone levels, and of course, probably the primary, semen retention. Alongside all of those, you'll fucking nail testosterone levels. It's the key to health. It really is the key to health. And that's one of those masteries I'm going to keep having to fucking learn the rest of my life. And I'm fine with it. I'm very happy. It's just, I keep forgetting and learning and forgetting and learning, and then just keep learning, keep reintegrating little more bigger things into my things. Anyway, that's it. Testosterone, focus. Absolutely fucking great. The reason why men get heart attacks is because of low testosterone levels. That's the primary. Most men won't want to hear this. I mean, but that's the truth. And also semen retention. Most men won't want to hear that too. They're just having too much sex or masturbating too much. There is such thing as having too much sex for a man, and just like every 2 or 3 days just spunking your seed when you're 40, 50 years old. That is too much. Quick one. The Taoists say take your age, divide it by 5. That's the amount of times you should ejaculate in your entire life. You should never ejaculate more than that. Even if you're in a partner, never ejaculate more. Why? Because it's powerful fucking testosterone you're losing and semen and all that shit. So anyway, alright, thanks.